Hello and welcome or welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily, and today I will be reacting to ATEEZ's third EP. So this is Treasure Episode 3, One to All. Ooh y'all, like I'm working my way through their entire discography, y'all. So it is cool. And all their music videos as well. So this is part 5 of the Catching Up with ATEEZ series on this channel, or if you're watching on Patreon. And it has been so much fun. Like, ATEEZ keeps setting the bar higher and higher and higher, and they keep adding more information to the story. And also, I've seen everybody's comments, and it's so very much appreciated because y'all are telling me things that like I might have missed in my initial listen, or when I was looking at the lyrics while I was listening to the songs. So I love to see this. I love to see that. I'm so excited to get into this, y'all. So we're going to go right in to the track list here. So the first song on the album will be Utopia, and then Illusion, then Crescent, then Wave, then Aurora, and then Dancing Like Butterfly Wings. So there's 6 songs on this EP, and the EP in total is only 18 minutes and 4 seconds. So we know it's going to give us a lot of information, okay? And then the same producers are the producers on all the tracks. So it's Eden, it's Lee's, and it's Buddy. But then there's also on Crescent, there's another producer named, I think it's Olander. And then on Aurora, Hongjoon is listed as a producer, and so is Olander too. And then Olander is listed in the 6th song, which is the Dancing Like Butterfly Wings. So I don't know if they're a new producer, he or she or they, depending how they identify. But that is cool. And then also it's the same writer. So it's Eden, it's Lee's, and it's Buddy. And it's, of course, Hongjoon and Mingi. And they're listed as writers for every song but Crescent. So I'm thinking that Crescent might just be instrumental since nobody is listed as a writer on that song. So that means that there's most likely no words, possibly. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But yes, so that's what the track list is looking like, what the producers are looking like, and what the writers are looking like. And then also for Aurora and Dancing Like Butterfly Wings, there is an additional writer, and it's, I think it's pronounced Olander. Correct me in the comments, but they're listed as the writer and the producer on Aurora and Dancing Like Butterfly Wings. So that is interesting, y'all. We're going to get straight into the reaction, though, for this album, or the EP. I need to quit calling it an album. For the EP. But before we do that, we're going to get into our patron shout-outs, just to shout them out real quick and let them know they appreciate it. Okay, so the first patron shout-out, it will go out to Keisha L. The second patron shout-out will go out to MK Han. The third patron shout-out will go out to Dia or Dea. And the fourth and final patron shout-out will go out to Renaya Shannon. I want to thank you all so much for your support on the Patreon. It is very much appreciated. And also, if you are watching this video on YouTube, do not forget to give the video a good thumbs up, because that helps with the algorithm and helps the video get out to more people. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But right now, the goalpost is at 400, and every day we get a whole heck of a lot closer to that goal. But without further ado, y'all, we are going to get into the first track on this EP for Treasure Episode 3, One to All, which is Utopia. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited, y'all. Okay, can we just take a moment to appreciate Hongjoon's pen? I'm like, and if you don't know that expression, just to like appreciate his lyricism and his writing abilities, we just need to take a moment, okay? Because the way he flowed from English to Korean, and just, I've been wanting to say that, and I don't think I've said it. Like, I've been thinking it, but I don't think I said it with my, like, out loud yet. But Hongjoon's skill with his pen, his writing game ain't no joke. And I just needed to shout him out on that real quick. But yes. Ooh. way he pronounces it. That is nice. Come on. Okay, they're getting deep here. This one is a deep one here, y'all. That was pretty. I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty. That was pretty. It was deep too. It wasn't just a pretty song, that was a deep song. And I know, like I said in the last video, they always be doing some of the most deepest songs over EDM beats or dance beats. I'm like, I don't know if they try to cushion the blow a little bit, but yeah, that's what they doing. Cause I like how he said Utopia. Cause I like the way that sometimes we're conditioned to pronounce it as Utopia, and there's no E before the P for that to even make sense. I'm gonna just pronounce it like Utopia from now on, because I used to pronounce it Utopia, but I'm like, I don't know why. Okay, Mingy got me out here rethinking the pronunciation of that word, because that really does look, that's the way it should be pronounced. Utopia, not Utopia. I don't know why I was thinking of that. But yes, anyway, back to the meaning of this song here. Like, they really was saying, especially the part that got me was when he said, even if they laugh at our dream, we're still going to continue to pursue it. And I'm like, who is laughing? Who was laughing? That's what I want to know. I need a name and an address. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, like, who's laughing at people's dreams? I know, like, it's not far-fetched to think that you could be famous, because a lot of people can be famous now with this increase of social media and things like that. You can go from being a TikTok one-hit person to a star overnight. It has happened. It does still happen. So I'm like, the fact that people will laugh at their dream, it just really doesn't make sense. But considering that some people do come from small towns in South Korea, but even then, you can't think that just because you come from a small town or a village-like place or a countryside even, that they can't succeed. That's just odd, you know, to even plant that in the minds of a young person. But I'm glad that they kept through it though, because they was talking about a lot here, and then just like wanting to reach the top, regardless of, like, you know, because as you ascending up to the top, people certain types of people gonna be like jealous and envious, and they go try to say things as you going up, and I'm just like, I felt that one, I felt that one. But then in regards to, and that's just in regards to them as a group, but in regards to them as like in the pirate storyline, I keep calling it pirate storyline. That's what I'm gonna dub it as that, because in regards to that, it basically is they finally have found like a peace outside of what they used to know, which was kind of like dystopian, and like that's all I could think of. Like they're finally finding a peace within one another and through their adventures through time, and it's bringing them like all of this joy, but yet they're still remembering the fact that their dream was to, I do believe, to free like everyone else from the dystopia that they are escaping. So we're gonna see as this EP progresses what more information we're gonna find out about that as well. 천장에 별이 보여서 올라타 그 위에 빛이 따라 돌고 돌아나 아직은 난 누굴 따라내 보랏빛 가르다 난 따라 들어왔네 죽었다 살았다 반복해 계속 누구도 억지로만 조이지나치 초록빛 태양 아래서 눈부셔 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 눈부셔. Ooh, I like that. Like I just noticed now, because people, like I have seen people in like the comments and other videos as well, but Mingy does have a signature that he says before he starts rapping. That's how you know when his verse is coming. And it's like that fix on, and then he goes straight into it. And I was like, oh, who does that remind me of? And like somebody in the other video had said like the BTS to ATEEZ pipeline is undefeated. And I'm like, yeah, because that reminds me of when Sugar goes, Sugar. And then he goes straight into the, I'm like, I love that Mingy has his own catchphrase though. I'm like, that is so awesome. That is so amazing. I'm like, I see the similarities here, and I'm like, and I really love, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again, because you can never say it enough, especially because I had seen some, like, I've been watching compilation videos on YouTube about ATEEZ, and I have seen, like, some compilation videos where they've even said about, because I do know about Mingy's hiatus that he had a few years back, and, like, the circumstances surrounding that hiatus, and then also I do know about, like, the fact that he feels like he's a replaceable member of ATEEZ, and I'm like, in what universe? Because it ain't this one. I'm like, not in this universe. Nay. He is definitely not replaceable. I don't think any member of ATEEZ is replaceable. Like, if they're not there, you're gonna recognize that they're not there. You're gonna feel that they're not there. And I'm like, Mingy, he is like becoming like, I don't want to say he's my bias, but he kind of is. And this is the first time that I've had a bias who is younger than me. Because I'm like, my biases in every other K-pop group is somebody who's either my age or older than me. So the fact that he is younger than me, and I think he was born in 98. I was born in 96. So that's why I'm like, I've never really had a bias that is younger than me. But him and San are like everybody, technically everybody is my bias in ATEEZ. Okay, everybody, I love them all. But it's just San and Mingy. Or if I had to like pick the two that I would say are my bias, it would be these two men. So I'm like, yeah, so with that, but I'm like, Mingy is so genius with the way that he raps. And then I also hear that he has other raps that he hasn't released yet. And I'm hoping one day he does, because that would be so cool to hear. But y'all, I'm gonna stop getting sidetracked. Get back to the reaction. Yeah, I like that a lot. ATEEZ know what they doing, y'all. And again, I say ATEEZ know exactly what they doing, because they know what they doing to the people. That's all I'm gonna say. They know exactly what they're doing to the people. Illusion is one of those songs, because even someone in the comments did make a mention of Illusion being also the fact, because like they said in the song, they're like, because someone did make a comment in part 4, and I am acknowledging that I did see that comment. And I want to see what the comment was here. Wait, hold up a minute. Let me get it. Let me get it so I can quote it correctly. Let me get it. Hold on. Let me see here. Okay, yes. So it was from someone who has like the ad. It's Nikki22 Yo. It's spelled Y-E-O, but I think it's pronounced Yo. Okay, but it does say like they did say in their comments that in the comment that they left on like part 4 for catching up with ATEEZ that in Illusion specifically that it was Hal ATEEZ communicating with the pirates to kind of advise them while they are finally together that they could celebrate, but they still have work to do. That's why even in the song they said there's a voice that they hear that's saying "Let me free," and that is exactly tying into what this person commented. Because I don't want to misgender anybody, so I'm referring to the commenter in third person because I don't want to assume. Okay, but yes, so it is very much alluding to that, just like the commenter on part 4 did comment about my reaction to the Illusion music video. It's very much giving that is like while they're enjoying and having fun, there is still that voice that is their other selves saying, y'all, you still got this dystopia to worry about. There's still people. And that's kind of like when San says, like, will you follow me? And I'm like, is he talking about, it's definitely not while they're in this place of peace, is in terms of will people follow them to basically get to this peaceful place that they know of once they go back to that other world. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the voice that's just letting them know while you're having fun, it can only be for tonight because in the morning you got work to do. You got people to save, people to free from the shackles of, the shackles of that dystopia. It's a lot of things. Like it could be, it's just kind of like giving that the dystopia that their counterparts are in is definitely giving totalitarianism. I want to say it might be in that vein. And I'm just like I said, it's giving very Fahrenheit 451 where the freedom of expression is limited. And then someone in the comments also did comment about how they are like connected. And I kind of noticed that a little bit in the Bouncy music video, how certain people are grouped together. Like I think, yeah, like definitely like for Young and so like San as a duo, I always see them grouped together. I've seen so many edits about them. Like as I got more into ATEEZ music videos and their albums, all of a sudden I'm seeing all these San edits on my timeline. And then there's the Yoongi, the Yoongi edits, which is and Mingi, and I'm like, and then there's the Songhwa and Hongjoon edits, and I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, okay. So it's like they are like kind of grouped together in these worlds, like because you even see them in music videos, like specifically for the Bouncy music video that I saw, that's one of their most recent. You do see Young and San together when San is fighting, and I'm just like, okay, maybe I just need to watch more videos to see how they're pairing them up. But definitely, I just wanted to let the commenter who commented that know I did see that comment. But yes, we're gonna get right back to this EP for the episode 3 for Treasure, and this one is going to be the Crescent song, but I'm not sure if it's a song or if it's an instrumental or a spoken word again, maybe.
Open your eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
Open your eyes.
Oh, this could be very much cinema. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Like it was a very nice interlude to Wave. That's why you hear the waves and then the music, and they're saying "Open your eyes." I'm like, oh, okay. Because after the events of Illusion, maybe they're like in another place or another time where it's like an island, which is this perfect setting for Wave. Okay, I feel the connection. The dots are connecting. I'm getting them. I like how he keeps saying Hakuna Matata. I love Hakuna Matata. That whole thing, or however you want to pronounce it. I believe Mingi pronounces it Hakuna Matata. And I'm like, I like that pronunciation of it as well, because it's literally flexible like that. But I like that they're adding that there because it literally means no worries. If you've never seen The Lion King, see it on Disney Plus. Do a free trial and see it, because Timon and Pumbaa and Simba in that song, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna understand the vibe. That's all I'm gonna say. But I like that they're including that phrase just because it means no worries, and where they are at this point in time for the right now, for the here and now, they don't have any worries or any burdens on their shoulder until the next day, because you still gotta do your things that you do in life, but for the moment, no worries. They on that Hakuna Matata time. I love that. Okay, y'all better go ahead. You better go ahead. I love his ad-libs that he does, that they keep in. I love it. Oh, like this whole album is just pretty song after pretty song. But I love this one because it kind of is like more of enjoying the moments of peace, because they'll help you in those moments when it's not as peaceful. And I feel like that is a good thing to remember, not just in terms of their storyline and what like they still have to do and the work that they still have to put in, but also in terms of like just regular life as well. And of course their lives as idols, to just enjoy the moments of peace, especially when people try to come with you with all the nonsense, okay? Or as we say in the States, the BS. Y'all know what that stands for. Okay, like it's really crucial to enjoy these moments with the people that you know are for you, are around you, and when there's that peace. And I love that. I really do love that, especially when you're considering that in their storyline, they are kind of like they're like away from the oppression of like that all watchful government entity that's always on their backs. They don't allow them to be freely express themselves. You're just another number, another person under their control, and they're finally just in this place and on this island, like in the music video, where it's just them and they're free to roam and be exactly who they want to be, whatever that means for every individual person. And I'm really liking that, because individuality is so important. And I think a lot of times, like in the elements of 1984 and Fahrenheit 451, these writers were trying to get across the fact that sometimes we don't realize how much control the government can have in our lives until it's at the point to where you don't have any control. And I'm glad that they wrote these books and these novels and these stories so that you realize the signs of when it's moving in that direction and how you need to fight, like push back on it, so you don't lose your individuality in the name of conformity. And I really like that. So I'm liking how ATEEZ's storyline is kind of reminding people of that, because even outside of the storyline, you always have to remember that your individuality, you shouldn't allow it to be stifled by the opinions or the actions of others, especially when you're not doing anything wrong. You're just being who you are and living your truth, and you shouldn't allow anybody to kind of make you feel less than for doing just that. And I really like that. I'm like, because it has a lot of meanings. It can go deeper into like gender identity. It can go into sexual orientation. It could go into race and ethnicity. Like it can go into all these different areas of themes that they're bringing up in their albums. And in their EPs. I keep calling it an album, but their EPs and in their songs, because it can really apply to all those scenarios. So I'm really loving that they're advocating for that. And I do see in the comments as well, I believe it was for the Catching Up with ATEEZ Part 3, where someone did comment how much advocates they are for the LGBTQIA plus community, which is such a big deal. Especially knowing how we just got out of Pride Month, y'all, but how absolutely tough it's been, not just in South Korea, y'all, but especially here in the States. Our Supreme Court right now and all the nonsense that it's doing and allowing, and then we have politicians who are trying to just strike down the rights of LGBTQIA plus people, specifically transgender people, and deny them medication and things like that. And it's just, it's just really too much. And as a person who, I'm not a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, but I'm someone who has a heart for people. And I'm like, it shouldn't be like this in 2023 in any country, in my opinion, especially not in the States or the United States of America. Like, that just, it's rubbing me the wrong way seeing how people are trying to block progress out of their own fear or their own hatred. Like, they're just allowing those two things to take over them. And it's just really, really disappointing to see them be in positions of power and having thoughts like this and biases like this. But like, that's just like my opinion about that. But yes, but I'm glad that they're advocates and that they're using your platform to make change and make conversation. Because I didn't know ATEEZ was this deep until I'm getting into their discography. But they've been deep for a hot minute. Like, since their first EP, they came out of the gate with a message. And it doesn't just apply to their storyline. It can apply to real life, real world situations right now. And I love that about them. I really do. I really do. Ooh, and now we're on to Aurora. I love this song. I thought it was so pretty too. Oh, and shout out to the person who commented that Hongjoon had a lot to do with the writing of this song and that he made it for ATEEZ, because that was one of my thoughts as well when I first saw the music video. So it was cool to have that confirmed. Okay, Uyoung, don't play on it. I did not know that was him. Okay. It's still as pretty as I remember it. Okay, that song is it. And yeah, I don't really have much to say because I think I said it in part 4, but I'm gonna say it again. Like, I love that they made a song that can apply not only them being the Auroras for one another, like in their darkest nights, they're gonna be the light, but also as ATEEZ being ATEEZ's Aurora. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. And the way that Hongjoon, with the help of like other people, because I know there's other people who helped write the song, but it's just really, really beautiful that they thought to do that. And it's just wonderful. I love that. I love that. Like, Aurora will always be that one. I don't know if this is my favorite song, because I haven't listened to all of them, but I'm going to see which one of these songs is my favorite. Because it's between, like, I really like Wave and Aurora right now. Those are my top 2. But I'm going to see, because we haven't listened to Dancing Like Butterfly Wings yet. So we're going to see if after this song, how it's going to rank. Oh, it's making the F song well on that part. Okay. ATEEZ better not. They better stop. Okay, out here, giving us motivation. Come on now. Come on now. I love that. I love that. I really honestly do. I love that so much. Okay. 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 I see it. I see it. I think Dancing with Butterfly Wings. Dang, I think that's number one. I think that's number one for me now. Okay? And I'm going to say why. Because it does show, like he said, like we don't want to fall deep down. We don't want to lose our minds. And this song, I don't really think it does. It can also tie in with the story, but this seems like it's more personal to the group members themselves. Because I do know that, like I mentioned before, in other reactions, that the industry that they're in is not easy. Okay, like it's not easy at all, and there's a lot of voices sometimes, and sometimes even though you have a lot of positive voices, it's the negative ones that can sometimes, when you're feeling a certain type of way, really, really get to you the most. So when he said we don't want to fall deep down, that can mean you just don't want to get into a state where you're just kind of like second guessing yourself, doubting yourself, because that can lead to the, things like depression and other such emotions that can really have you down bad. And then he also said, like we don't want to lose our minds because you don't want to go crazy over things that people say or things that people think about you that ain't true. But like just because you see them typed on a screen, sometimes they just stick with you at random moments, especially when you're as young as they are. Even when you're older, like being in that industry, it can really break you down depending on what you're going through in your personal life when you see a negative comment, and how that can really just like, like it can make you be like, you know what, I'm trying my hardest. They don't even know what I'm going through right now. And why would they say that? Like, is it true? Even though it's not true, like, especially when you're already going through something in your personal life, because a lot of times we don't even know what people was going through at all. And like, it kind of reminds me of this instance where it was the really beautiful man that played Black Panther, and his name was Chadwick Boseman, if you guys are not familiar with him. And he played Black Panther in Wakanda Forever, and in a few of the Avengers movie, and in Captain America Civil War. And I remember, like, everybody has positive things to say about him, but I remember when the images started circulating back in 2020 of him looking noticeably thinner, and how people were kind of like joking about it, just for it to come out after he had passed away that he had stage 4 colon cancer. And that's why he looked the way he did. And it just really put into perspective that you really can't judge things just by what you're seeing when you know nothing about these people in their personal life, because he never let anybody know that was a fan. And he didn't even let some of the people he worked with know that he was sick. They didn't know he was sick until after he had passed away. And I'm like, and it's things like that and instances like that that always let me know that you just don't know what battles people are fighting completely and utterly without you knowing. Even sometimes people close to them don't know what they're going through because they're not sharing it. And I think that it's always important to know it, especially after that instance. I was always more aware, because I'm never the type to type something rude on the internet. Because I'm like, if I'm thinking something about somebody that I don't know, I'm like, it's most likely going to be positive. And if it's not positive, I still wouldn't type that on the internet. And I'm thinking, like, that's what this song kind of made me think of, is how people form these opinions based off of what they see. And you don't really have a knowledge of them as people, and outside of what they share. And, and even that is limited. That is, sometimes it's still filtered. Because I'm like, even with me on this channel, what I share is just my reactions and some of my opinions. It's not all of my opinions. It's some of my opinions on things that I like to react to. But it's just, it doesn't really give you a clear picture necessarily of who I am. It's just what you see. So it kind of applies the same way, especially to people who are famous, because they have an image. And, but it doesn't always mean that that's exactly who they are. That could just be one side, So I feel like the Dancing with Butterfly Wings, and then also Hongjoong and Minky's raps being focused on them, like kind of finding their way in their place as a group in the industry, that it is very competitive. The K-pop industry is just, like it's just, the industry sometimes, like, I really don't like it sometimes, and how certain groups are treated by their companies. Not in this case. I love how KQ Entertainment be treating ATEEZ. For what I've seen, they don't treat them bad. So I love that. And the same goes with Big Hit Entertainment as well, with BTS, because that's my other alt group. But I'm like, even sometimes with that, sometimes I'm just like, okay. But you know, like the industry, and then the way that sometimes the contracts are written, it can put a lot of pressure. And then especially when you're thinking about, oh, are we selling enough records? Are we doing enough? Are we working hard? Like, because if we're working hard, why isn't this and this happening? And so I'm glad that they're kind of voicing that in a song, because that can happen. I'm like, it took a lot of groups that we know of now that are really, really famous. It took them a minute to get where they are. Like, I feel like ATEEZ is in their era of like propelling themselves further and further into that stardom, into global recognition, not just, you know, because I do know they have a large global fan base, like large. And I've even seen some comments about their Korean fan base, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get into that. But I'm like, I've seen what they talking about, and I'm like, there's some truth there. There's some truth there, but you know, we can keep it cute. But yeah, but I'm like, I feel like they were, especially earlier, because these were recorded. I think this was back in 2019. Yeah, so this was back in June of 2019. So like literally 4 years ago. Over 4 years ago when this EP came out. So they were still in their earlier stages. And it really reminds me of, even though I got into K-pop in general back in 2018, it really reminds me of what I was seeing in the earlier years of BTS. Like, they have all this potential, but sometimes people can't really see the potential, and the recognition comes later. And that's happened to a lot of artists that are famous now. They weren't famous so many X amount of years ago. They just got famous randomly. And I'm just like, well, not randomly. They just got famous after one song went viral, or this happened, and finally everybody is seeing what they should have been seeing before. And I'm just like, yeah, sometimes it takes a longer time than it should for people to recognize talent. And I think a lot of times that's just due to the fact that sometimes people are used to mediocrity. And when you finally have something that's actually great, sometimes you write it off because you're like, oh, anybody could do that. And then you gotta look at it again and like, nah, anybody can't just do that. It's a select few. And sometimes it's few and far in between that can actually do that and have longevity and make art that matters, really. You know, so I'm just like, you gotta think about it like that. But yeah, y'all, that is my reaction to the Treasure episode 3 One to All EP from ATEEZ. I think my favorite songs from this album, my top 3, if I had to choose them, and these are in order, it would be Dancing Like Butterfly Wings, and then Wave, and then Aurora. An honorable mention is definitely going to be Illusion, but for me, Dancing Like Butterfly Wings, Wave, and Aurora really, really did something there. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, y'all, I don't want to make this video too long again. But y'all, that is my reaction to Treasure episode 3 EP from ATEEZ, and I will be back with the Treasure episode final. Okay, their first studio album reaction relatively soon. But y'all, if you stayed until the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for watching, because I know this one's gonna be a bit lengthy. No, actually, I don't think it might not be a little lengthy. It might be a little bit shorter, because I did do reactions to Illusion, Wave, and Aurora already in part 4, so I might cut them down for YouTube. Yeah, that might be what I'm gonna do. Okay, so it might not be as lengthy as I'm thinking it is. But y'all, thank you for staying until the end. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have yet to subscribe, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because we are on the road to 400 subscribers, and we are getting closer to that goal every single day. So don't forget to do it. And also, don't forget to give this video a good thumbs up, because that helps with the algorithm, helps the video get out to more people. And last but not least, I want to thank all the lovely patrons on Patreon. Again, your support is so very much appreciated. And all the subscribers on YouTube who are already subscribed, thank you so much for your support as well. And I will be back with another reaction or YouTube video relatively soon, y'all. But until the next video, bye.